Hi, you're welcome to today's lesson. In this lesson, we shall be talking about the structure of government, or if you like, the systems or forms of government. And at this topic, we shall be looking at the following: unitary system of government, federal system of government, confederal system of government, presidential system of government, and parliamentary system of government. Now, I don't want to bore you with a long video, and so in this lesson, we shall be discussing the unitary system of government, the rest to be treated in subsequent videos. Speaking of which, I'd like to mention at this point that this lesson is by no means a replacement for your notebooks and textbooks. We are barely scratching the surface here because, like I said, I don't want the video to be too long. I'll therefore suggest that you watch the lesson as many times as you can to get a general idea. Then read your notebooks and textbooks to flesh it out, or if you will, to gain an in-depth knowledge about the subject matter. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. Alright, so without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. To begin with, I believe we all know what government is. And by government, I'm referring to government as an institution, not as a process or a subject studied at school. As in the institution that is responsible for maintaining the affairs of a state. That's in simple terms. And when you talk about structure or system, basically we're looking at how governments are formed with respect to authority and entitlement. As in who wields what authority, who makes what decisions, and is there any form of power sharing, and if yes, to what extent? If you're confused at this point, don't worry, kindly indulge me for a second. The point is, the answer to these questions lead to the various forms or systems of government. In this lesson and subsequent ones, we shall discuss them one after the other, considering their features, advantages, and disadvantages. Now, let's talk about the unitary system of government. So, one can safely say that a unitary system of government is the type in which a single central government has total power over all its other subdivisions. It could also be defined as a form of government in which there is a single level of government called the central government. Now, basically, the point we want to make here is this. If we say a state or a country or a nation is unitary, we mean to say that there is a central government which is vested with absolute authority to make decisions that affect the whole country. Also, that central government does not share its powers with any sub-governmental body. Ghana is an example of a unitary state. Now, in Ghana, there is a central government that consists of one supreme legislature, a single unit executive, and a single supreme judiciary. Now, these arms or branches of government do not share their respective powers to make laws, execute laws, and adjudicate with any other local government institution. For example, like the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. At best, what they do is that they delegate. Okay, and that's a concept for another lesson. For now, what we're saying is that constitutionally, unitary states have a single level government and they do not share their authority with any other sub-governmental institution. Now, other examples of countries that practice the unitary system of government include France, Italy, the People's Republic of China, and the Philippines, just to mention a few. All right, so now let's talk about the features of the unitary system of government. To begin with, unitary systems of government are characterized by centralization of power. Now, as I said earlier, in a unitary system, all powers are concentrated in the hands of the central government. Now, in this system, there are no provincial or regional governments. The constitution empowers the central government to legislate, execute, and adjudicate with full authority. However, I would like to mention at this point that in many unitary states, there are local government arrangements, but then powers are just delegated to these units with strict central control or supervision. The central government does not share its authority with these sub-governmental bodies. Also, in a unitary system, there is a simple and single government. Unitary form of government is a very simple system. Of course, with the exception of Britain, there is nothing like provincial assemblies or regional executives or upper house or lower house or upper chamber, something like a bicameral legislature. Okay, but then there is a single central government at the center, There is a unicameral legislature that is popularly elected to legislate. There is an executive to execute and a judiciary to adjudicate without any share of authority. And so it's a relatively simple and understandable system. The ordinary citizen is able to easily understand its structure and powers. In addition, most unitary systems operate flexible constitutions. The constitutions of unitary states are flexible in nature, actually, meaning the constitutions in unitary systems are easy to amend. They can easily be changed according to the needs of the time and maybe changing circumstances. Now, you should know that people's desires change with the passage of time, and so constitutions are amended accordingly. And so we can safely say that constitutions of unitary systems are more like evolutionary in nature, meaning that it can easily be amended or changed as and when the need arises. Finally, the unitary systems are also often practiced by countries with homogeneous and small population. Now, a small population size makes it possible to govern people from a single center. That way, government is able to run the affairs of the state without any difficulty. Now, I should mention here that it is not just about the size of the population, but also that the population should be relatively homogeneous. Now, meaning that the people in a unitary state should share some common backgrounds in terms of maybe ethnicity, religion, race, culture, etc. A country like Nigeria, for example, has over 250 ethnic groups with over 525 local languages spoken. Now, compare that to Ghana with about 70 ethnic groups and with about the same number of local languages spoken. Yes, Ghana may not be a true homogeneous population, but compare that to Nigeria and you'd get the point. As in, you get to understand why Nigeria practices the federal system of government and Ghana practices the unitary. The point is, Ghana is a smaller country or nation compared to Nigeria. And so, of course, we are able to practice the unitary system of government with ease. All right. Now, let's talk about the advantages or merits of a unitary system of government. Firstly, a unitary system of government is less costly. Okay, in a unitary system of government, there are no duplications of institutions as is often seen under federations. Less resources are therefore required to run the affairs of the state. And this makes it possible to operate on a relatively balanced budget at all times. Unitary government can increase or decrease expenditures immediately to take care of emergencies as and when they occur. And so, the point is, the fewer levels of government we have, the lower costs that are incurred in running the government or the country. So in addition, unitary government creates societal unity. They promote national unity and stability, if you will. The thing is, in a unitary system of government, there is just one umbrella, which I would call an umbrella government. That is the central government. There may be sub-governmental bodies, but essentially all government institutions are the same. And no matter where an individual's location may be, okay, you experience the same government. All sub-governmental institutions are under the central government. Now, this makes it possible for people in a unitary state to identify with each other, so to speak, and to see themselves as one people, basically, because they have just one big umbrella government, governing them all. Moreover, in a unitary system, there is uniform or standardized legislation. Now, the laws made in unitary states affect all and sundry, irrespective of one's location within the country. Regulations become standardized across the entire country. Everyone follows the same laws. What is legal or illegal is clearly defined. There are no instances of something being legal at one place and maybe being illegal at another place, as sometimes happens in federations. And then finally, decision making under unitary system is relatively fast and easy. That is an obvious one, and it's probably one of the most significant merits of unitary systems of government. There is less authority to be consulted, less bureaucracy to deal with, less institutions to involve before decisions in the country are made. This brings about easy and faster decision making by the government, and this is especially very helpful in times of emergencies or crisis. All right, now let's talk about the disadvantages. First, the system is criticized as having the tendency to promote dictatorship. Now, as we know, in a unitary state, power is concentrated at one point, that is the central government. And that is one fatal condition for dictatorship to emerge. Or, as Lord Acton would put it, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now, in simple terms, too much power in the hands of one person, or in this instance, one institution, can lead to the abuse of power, leading to the rise of dictatorship. Also, the system overburdens the central government. Now, since everyone looks up to the central government for their every need, the central government gets saddled with overload of work. And so obviously this will lead to administrative inefficiency and possible breakdown of institutions and personnel. Furthermore, the system kills local initiative. It does not create room for wider participation in government. In a unitary system of government, powers are concentrated in the center, as we all know, and it makes it difficult or even impossible for people at the local level to be able to participate in government. Also, in such a system, people expect even their basic needs to be met by central government. They are unwilling to do things for themselves. The system discourages people at the local levels to take up initiatives to kind of meet their basic needs. Finally, the unitary system is a structure that ignores local needs. You see, the benefit of having a government at the local level is that it can effectively concentrate on local need. For example, the federal government in the United States worries about providing, defense or transportation networks, etc., while allowing the local government to focus on creating solutions to meet local needs. Now, in the case of unitary state, the federal government is supposed to concentrate or is supposed to be concerned with the bigger issues as well as the smaller local issues. Now, in this situation, it is possible for government to focus their resources and their attention on the bigger issues, ignoring the smaller local ones. All right, so guys, that's all for today's lesson. But before we bring the session to an end, let's sum up. In this lesson, we defined unitary system of government. We mentioned some features, advantages, and disadvantages. Again, I'll advise that you replay the video as many times as you can and read your notebooks and textbooks as well. For your assignments, you find out why Ghana adopted a unitary system of government in 1956. Now, I expect none less than 5 reasons. If you have any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Tete. I will see you in the next video.